Good evening. The first run of a new Amtrak commuter line in the Pacific Northwest ended in tragedy. The 14-car train jumped the tracks this morning south of Seattle, and most of the cars flew off an overpass, some hitting vehicles on the road below.
Continuing coverage of the train derailment south of Seattle, and so many questions. This current report that's out there that there might have been something on the track that caused this. We cannot confirm this. Waiting to find out more from investigators. With us now is Dr. Nathan Selden. He says that he was just happened to be driving by the crash scene when he got out of his car to help some of the victims there. Dr. Selden is chairman of the Department of Neurological Surgery at Oregon Health and Science University in Portland. Doctor, thank you for being here. Tell us what you saw.
Well, Shepard, thanks for having me. It was really something that I never imagined I would see, and I hope I never see anything like it again. There were train cars scattered down the embankments on both sides of this crossing and actually down onto the highway. Dozens upon dozens of first responder vehicles and patients being triaged and getting ready for transport to area hospitals.
What did you do specifically to help people who were there? Tell us what you found yourself in the middle of.
So I stopped. I wasn't sure if I'd be more in the way or more help, but they did say immediately, the head EMT folks and firemen, that they needed medical support. They took me over to the triage tents, and I worked with a radiologist from Air Base Lewis McChord and a nurse from one of the local hospitals who had also just driven up. And we were looking at patients and making quick checks of all of their extremities and their chest and abdomen and neck and spine and head, figuring out who was injured and how badly, and making sure that the priority patients got straight into ambulances and to the right hospital so they could be further treated.
Without specifics about anyone in particular for obvious reasons, what sort of injuries were you seeing?
So the very most severely injured patients had already been taken out. I was there about a half an hour after the accident occurred, I think. Those were scoop and run. These were patients with moderate injuries and less severe injuries. It was a very sudden deceleration from the way it sounded, so there was a lot of back and neck sprain. There was a number of fractures, pretty severe pelvic fractures and arm and leg fractures, people who had big gashes and lacerations that needed to be repaired, probably some skull fractures.
The train carried 77 passengers and a crew of 7. At least 3 people were killed. There are dozens of injuries. The NTSB is on the scene, and so is CBS News correspondent John Blackstone.
The accident scene is a jumble of derailed train cars, trucks, and automobiles.
When you see the pictures, it's pretty horrific.
People were screaming, it was crazy.
An Amtrak commuter train on a new, higher-speed line between Seattle and Portland derailed.
Amtrak 501, emergency, we are on the ground.
This radio call captured the moment dispatchers first learned that cars had hurtled off a bridge directly onto Interstate 5.
Is everybody okay?
I'm still figuring that out. We got cars everywhere and down onto the highway.
One car flipped upside down onto the interstate, another dangling precariously off the overpass. Still others piled up, wreckage strewn over a wide area. Of the 14 cars, only one, the lead engine, remained on the tracks. No motorists were killed from the crash.
I was scared, I was really scared.
Adrian Thompson was en route to see his mother for the holidays.
I just grabbed onto the chair in front of me for dear life. My laptop went flying, my phone went flying.
Within minutes of the derailment, dozens of emergency crews rushed in, as did drivers who witnessed the crash, like Trevor Culvey, who helped pull survivors to safety.
I saw smoke. Next thing you know, myself and a few others are trying to get people medical care when we can.
This was the first trip for the new Seattle to Portland line, but some local officials had expressed concern these tracks weren't safe enough for a commuter train traveling 80 miles an hour. Those passengers who were able to walk away feel enormously fortunate.
I had to say a prayer multiple times after this. I feel blessed to be alive and okay right now.
Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board are now on the scene of this accident, looking for an answer to that all-important question: what caused this on a newly rebuilt set of tracks meant for higher speed operation? Was it a problem with the train, the tracks or perhaps operator error.